You need to tell Jake ass. Yeah, he decided to take care of his responsibilities.
Have you ever been in this situation?
Hell no. I know how not to get pregnant.
We need to talk.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Mark Dark, and I'm back with another video. If you're new, if you love the Shy, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and leave your theories, comments, everything down below. Now today we're going to be talking about the Shy Season 5, Episode 4. This is the recap. Now I'm going to try my best to go over all the key points in this episode. If I miss anything, you guys let me know down below. And man, your girl Gemma, she is knocked up. We talked about this months ago when they released the official trailer. And the fan prediction was that, Jake got her pregnant. Well, we found out the truth in this latest episode. What is going to happen? Will Gemma keep the baby? You guys let me know down below on how you see that playing out. And also in this episode, we saw Keisha and Emmett bond once again. Everything was going good. We saw that Tiffany, she called Emmett. And of course, Emmett does not want her knowing that Keisha was there. And Keisha, she ignored Tiffany's call as well. So that's going to be very interesting. I cannot wait to see Tiffany's reaction because we already know she's not going to keep that same energy. And I'm talking about that same energy she was telling Keisha about as far as her not caring who Emmett moves on with. That's going to be an issue, and Keisha and Emmett know it's going to be an issue just based off their actions in this episode. But like I told you guys, I'm going to try my best to focus on all the key points in this episode. If I miss anything, you guys let me know down below. So what did we see in episode 4 titled On Me? The episode starts out with Gemma, and the episode is going to end with Gemma. And I did see a lot of people asking about Gemma's character in last week's episode. They wanted to know where she was at. Well, she's back in episode 4, and we know her story was very, very interesting this time around. Now, we also see Maisha, we see your girl Lynnae as well, and we see Keisha. Everybody's pretty much getting themselves together for today, and we know it's going to be full with all types of different activities, and a lot of drama is going to be coming, at least for certain characters. We got your boy Kevin banging on Lynnae's door. He is trying to get her attention. He is trying to talk. Y'all know Kevin, he love him some Lynnae, but Lynnae, she's in there playing the switch. She ain't even thinking about Kevin. Then we get back to Gemma, and it seems like Gemma is trying to start her day on a high note. Literally, she ain't playing around. She said, you know what? It's time to get blazed. It's time to start my day off great. Now, we see Keisha. She's struggling. Keisha is trying to take care of Ronnie at the same time. We know she has some papers she has to do for school. It's difficult for her to do this. Trying to manage all this at once. She is seeing that this whole motherhood thing is a struggle. So we know later on in the episode, she will be going up to Emmett's spot. Now, we also see Rose and we see Tiara in the bed. What's going on right here? You mean to tell me Rose and Tiara, they getting down? I want to know more intel on this whole thing. It was mentioned later on in the episode that Tiara was there, but still, we need more intel on what's going on between Rose and Tiara. We know Rose, man, she be doing things behind the scenes. She be controlling the board for real, and we're definitely going to talk more about that later on in this recap. Then we get to Gemma and Marcus, and we know that Gemma has a different opinion when it comes to education, when it comes to taking the SATs. She feels like things have changed and is different from how it was back in her dad's days. Now, we know Gemma doesn't really want to do the things her pops want her to do, and he's telling her like, look, this is what we prepared you for since you was a little girl. He wants her to have the best education possible and have the best opportunities possible. But it seems like Gemma wants to go her own route. And also, her pops already knew she was in there smoking. He ain't stupid. You know what I'm saying? This dude's been there before. He understands what time it is. Now, you guys let me know down below. Do y'all believe Gemma is regretting not listening to her pops? And I'm talking about as far as her whole education, taking things more serious. Now, we know she got pregnant by Jake, but do you guys believe if she was taking her education and things that her pops wanted her to do more serious, putting her time into that instead of having sex and getting pregnant by Jake, do you guys believe that her outcomes would have played out a little bit more differently? I did see some of you guys state that she should have just stayed with Kevin in the first place. and, things would have been different. At the end of the day, even if you do have certain opportunities and, you are privileged, things like this can still happen. So who knows what would happen with Gemma, but we do know she is knocked up and now she has a decision to make, which we're going to talk about later on in the recap. Then we get to the OG Darnell and we get to Jada. I mean, you already know he was clapping those cheeks and he just trying to sit up in the house. He was talking about, I'll make you a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich and we can just watch some murder mystery, some forensic files, some unsolved mysteries, right? And Jada's like, look, she ain't trying to do that. She was trying to go, have brunch and get it out. She tells Darnell all the sex is going to stop until he takes her out on a real date. She tells him, look, she ain't the same insecure girl back in high school and that her standards have gone up. So Darnell, he has to step up to the plate. Darnell's like, man, this is like a full-time job. But we know Darnell, he ain't gonna let his girl Jada go out like that. He is gonna make sure he steps up to the plate later on in the episode and takes Jada out on a nice date. Then we get to Treg, Tracy, and Peaches. And it seems like Treg and Tracy, they have helped out Peaches as far as getting her a nice place to stay. I mean, she's trying to get back on her feet. She is clean and she does have support. And Tracy is there for her, telling her if it's anything that you need, you let me know. So like I told you guys, she has the support system this time around. And she's telling Treg she knows that her word is not, nothing to him because based on the past, she has said what she was going to do and she's failed. But this time around, she is trying to move a little bit different. Treg wants her to get through this. I want her to get through this. A lot of you guys have been talking about y'all think something going to happen with Peaches. Some people don't trust her, but I'm going to tell you right now, I do have a funny feeling about this whole Peaches storyline. It just feels like something is going to happen down the line. And I do believe they have Peaches stand at the Trinity House. So like I said, she has all the support that she needs in my opinion. So hopefully everything plays out good for her. Now Tiara wants to take a picture in front of the Trinity House. Tracy, she's like, nah, I don't know about that. We don't need all that exposure. But Tiara explains that if they do this, it can actually help more people out and it can get them the help that they need. Now, Tracy does agree to allow this to happen. She states that, sometimes you got to do things that you don't like to get ahead. So we know Tracy is definitely doing a lot of things that she doesn't like in order to move ahead. Now we get to Keisha, as I told you guys earlier. She is struggling, trying to take care of Ronnie and do schoolwork. It is difficult for her to do. So she decides to pop up over Emmett's spot, and Emmett helps out a lot. He's able to take care of EJ and he is taking care of Ronnie. He is giving Keisha the time that she needs to get her work done and she's liking it. So what do you guys think about this whole storyline between Keisha and Emmett? As I told you, you already know it's going to be a huge blow up down the line once Tiffany finds out the truth about what's going on between the two. Then we get to Tracy and Duda, and Duda is telling her that Rose wants to be the co-director of Rock, and Tracy's pissed off. She's like, really? I'm not about to allow this girl to come in and, run stuff, especially an organization that I built in honor of my son. Like, it's not about to happen. But Duda is telling her that Rose is pretty much an expert in nonprofit organizations and that if this was to happen, they can build up Rock and they can use Rock as a platform for Trek to run on. So this whole thing can help out with the campaign. Now, Tracy does ask what happens if she does not agree, if she does not want to do this. And Duda tells her that means you're going to get fired. And he tells her that Rose was the one that cleared Treg's name. And, he owes her. So like I told you guys earlier, it seems like Rose, she is controlling things. She is pulling some strings at the same time. We know Duda, he has his own agenda. I told you guys in the past, Duda can never be trusted. But remember, Tracy was the one that stated that she feels safe around Duda. She loves him, right? But hey, this is the life that she's chose. Being around Duda is only going to end one way. Check the history. Check Duda's history from season 2 all the way up. How do you think it's going to end when you do business with this dude? Or if you're even connected to him, I don't see it ending well. I did hear Duda mention that he is tired of being under Q's thumb, which means it's going to be some friction between the two this season. I'm eager to see how Duda's going to, deal with Q and if he's going to address that situation with him later on down the line. Then we get back to Gemma, and Gemma's like, screw this. I'm not trying to take no SAT. This girl said, you know what? I am leaving. I got a different outlook on life. I am not doing this. I'm going to do exactly what I want to do. I mean, I guess she has the options. I mean, at least as of right now, we know how she feels about this whole education thing and, what her pops has told her. She feels like she is doing things for him and not for her. Now, Gemma and Maisha, they're having a conversation. We know Maisha is telling Gemma on why she is doing the SAT, why she thinks highly of education based on how she was brought up. She didn't have a lot of opportunities, right? And she wants to make her mother proud. Gemma tells her, look, what do you want to do? Because we know Gemma is like, screw all that. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm tired of doing what my parent want me to do to please them. And we know Maisha is good at music and she's good at rapping. Your girl Gemma tells her she should do more freestyle. So we know later on in the episode, Gemma's going to set that all up for Maisha to freestyle. And man, your boy Papa was in his feelings on that one. So we're going to talk about that later on. Then we get to Kevin and Lynnae. We saw this exclusive clip earlier on in the week. I broke it down for you guys yesterday. We already know Kevin was going to apologize to Lynnae for what happened in last week's episode. Now we know Kevin is just trying to be there for Lynnae. He is telling her about his experience and about how he felt when Keisha went missing. He felt like he was never going to see her again. And of course, that changed him and messed him up a lot. Now Lynnae, it seems like she didn't even care about what Kevin was saying because she stated that Keisha came back. You got your sister back. My brother is going to get locked up for life. And that's Jamal's fault. Jamal caught a body. That is his fault. I just felt like it should have been a little bit more respect when it came to Kevin's feelings. Even if you don't agree with what Kevin was talking about, at least be more respectful when telling him how you feel. And as I told you guys yesterday, Lynnae, she is in that household because of Kevin and his family. You know what I'm saying? So Kevin has really tried his best to look out for Lynnae and be a good friend. And even though Kevin is not perfect as far as what he does sometimes, he does have good intentions when it comes to Lynnae and her feelings. I just wish she could have got a little bit more respect, but it is what it is with that. We know Children's Services does come there and they tell Lynnae that her guardian, which is her brother, is not in the position to be taking care of her. So it's a high chance that Lynnae's housing can change and she could be moved into the foster care system. Then we get to Rashad and Trey. They're going out to canvass the community. They're trying to build up his name because we know Trey wants to run for city council. And at the same time, he wants people to come to this ward night at Trinity House. That way the people can come, they can voice their opinions on what is going on in the community, and they can tell Trey what they want to see as far as a change. And he's doing good, you know what I'm saying? He's allowing people to voice their opinions, and the people, they're actually liking what Trey is bringing to the table. It wasn't easy, but he put in the footwork to get to the people, something that a lot of people, they're not even willing to do nowadays. But Victor is willing to get out there and do it. Now we get to Dre and we get back to the whole Lynnae storyline. We know Dre was going to be the person that was going to step up to the plate as far as being the legal guardian. We know Children's Services is telling her that Lynnae can probably end up in the foster care system. But if Dre and her family wants to be the legal guardian, it's going to take some steps. We knew this was going to happen. They tell Dre to think about that, and you had that conversation with Nina, which they're going to have later on in the episode. Now we get back to Trey and Rashad. He is checking his IG. His followers is going up. He's getting a lot of attention because we know him and Tiara, they're creating a lot of buzz. And Rashad is pretty much telling Trey, like, man, Tiara, she cool for you. You know what I'm saying? She's your type. She's everybody's type. But Trey tells Rashad, like, nah, she's not my type. We know Trey has the type, which once again, we're going to see that in this episode when he has a conversation with Fatima. Now Trey tells Rashad that he's willing to do whatever it takes. He's willing to fake this relationship in order to win office. If this is what people likes, then that's what he's going to do, right? And he says a lot of people was counting on him, and he don't want to let everybody down, so this is what he's going to do. At the same time, he is telling Rashad don't mess up his relationship with Deja, and we know Deja is cleaning Rashad up. She's getting out there looking clean, and hopefully everything goes well with that relationship. Now, we get back to Keisha and Emmett. They're bonding. We know Keisha has finally finished her paper. She is thanking Emmett for watching Ronnie for her while she finished her paper. And y'all know Emmett. He's like, look, you can always count on me. You can always lean on me. I got you. And it seems like the two are getting closer and closer. And we know eventually this thing is going to blow up in their face because Tiffany will find out. I just can't wait till it actually happens. Now, we get to Kevin and Lynnae. They're upstairs, thinking about what's going to happen with Lynnae in her future. Kevin is telling her just to think positive, hopefully things work out for her in her placement of stay. Now, Kevin does decide that it would be a good idea if they go and help out Papa at the event that they're going to be having at Rock. Now, Nina and Dre, they're having, some disagreements on what's going on with Lynnae and her placement. We know Dre wants Lynnae to stay there. At the same time, we know Nina has some questions. We know that Nina does state that it is a huge commitment, taking Lynnae in. And to be honest, she's probably just afraid, right? And at the same time, we know Dre, she is pushing. She's like, look, this is probably the best option for her because we know how dirty the foster care system is and what they do to kids. So she definitely does not want her in the system. She wants her there instead. Now, Kevin and Lynnae decide to sneak out. They're not trying to be a part of any type of argument with Nina and Dre. Now, Nina and Dre decide that it would be best that they ask Lynnae what she wants to do. But once they go upstairs, they notice that Kevin and Lynnae done got up out of there. And we know that Dre hits up Kevin and asks where they're going. Kevin lets them know exactly where they're going, but we know Dre's like, look, next time ask to make sure that y'all back at a decent hour. Now, at the event, it was a young lady there rapping. Maisha was feeling it, and we know that Gemma, she had it all set up for Maisha to go up there and freestyle, which she did. Now, Maisha, she goes up there, and she's killing it. She's in the zone, and this is where it gets funny, because Maisha, she said a lyric about Papa, something about how she didn't need a church boy or something like that. And man, your boy Papa, he was pissed off. He was very pissed off. You can see his facial expression. I mean, Kevin was just laughing it off, but Papa, he kept that same type of energy when it came to his body language. I'm pretty sure Papa will address Maisha about this in the next episode, as far as what she was saying. And y'all know Papa, he ain't feeling all the negativity everybody giving him, especially if it's from Maisha, who is someone that he really cares about still. So for her to do that, you already know he's going to feel some type of way about that. Now, it seems like Gemma wants to be Maisha's manager. She does mention this to Maisha, and Maisha kind of laughed it off or whatever. She kind of, made a joke about Paperboy and Earn from Atlanta. And I don't know. Y'all let me know how y'all think this is going to play out. But it does seem like Maisha and Gemma are getting way more closer this season compared to last season. Then we get to Tracy and Rose. We know Tracy feels some type of way about Rose being the co-director and pretty much controlling a lot of different things that's going on at Rock. It's crazy because Rose took the words right out of my mouth. I've been talking about all week long about how Tracy, she's done all this dirty work in the past. And I'm talking about as far as making Ronnie do her dirty work. I mentioned this in my last few videos about this episode. And when it comes to Tracy, now Rose pretty much told her, look, you started Rock because you felt guilty. You sent Ronnie to kill the kid that killed your son, right? But Ronnie killed the wrong person and Ronnie got popped when it was all said and done. So Rose pretty much put Tracy on blast. Tracy really couldn't say anything. We know Rose, she wants to bring in celebrities to donate. She wants to blow this organization up. And as Duda has stated before, this is what she does. She's an expert at nonprofit organizations. So we're going to see what Rose is going to bring to the table. But you guys let me know exactly how did y'all feel about Rose, telling Tracy the truth, because that is the truth. I'm glad Rose brought it up because Tracy, she has done a lot of dirt in her past. Now, we know Tracy was talking about, if you mess this up, I'm going to kill you myself. Well, that's not happening, especially after Rose has put you on blast. And Rose did mention that, look, it seems like I'm not the only person causing damage around here. So after she said that, Tracy couldn't say anything. She just walked off because she knew it was the truth. Now, Victor is giving a good speech to the people. He is taking questions. We know Fatima, she could not wait to ask this question. She asked him about him taking all the credit for founding Trinity House. We know Imani was the person that, really put in the effort to get this place open. And Treg does not shy away from the truth. He does give Imani the credit and states that if it wasn't for her, this place would never be open in the first place. We know she put in a lot of work to make sure this was going to be a place for, people to come and get that help. And his response, in my opinion, only helped his chances of getting this whole city council thing to go his way that much more. Then we get to Gemma and she throws up. And once she throws up, once she starts to act weird, I knew, like, okay, that fan theory has come true about her being pregnant. I already knew what time it was. And now her and Maisha are going to go and see if this pregnancy test comes back positive. Now we get back to Treg. He's having a conversation with Fatima. He is talking about how he appreciated the question, but in reality, he probably didn't want to be asked that question, but it didn't really seem like it fazed him. And to be honest with you guys, Treg is really feeling Fatima. Now Fatima is flirting back, but she's not really pushing, as far as doing something down the line. Treg is talking about, maybe we can do something, meet up or whatever after this. He is trying to pretty much set up another meeting with Fatima. Now, Fatima does mention that she was the one that put out that article about Treg being, a person of interest for city council. So I think that also sparked, some interest in Fatima when Treg learned that she was the one to put that, news article out about him. Now, while all this is happening, your girl Tiara does pop up and she gets Treg up out of there. Rashad notices that Fatima and Treg was getting real close, and he's like, look, what are you doing? How are you flirting with another girl and you got Tiara here? I mean, what are you thinking about? I mean, you're in front of all these people. You want to mess up your chances. And he pretty much telling Treg, look, you could just tell the truth. Don't nobody really care about, who you like, who you're messing around with. It's gay politicians and, people doing whatever they want, trans people that's in politics. People are not going to care. These people love you and you will win either way. But Trek is like, nah, he wants to continue to run this whole lie, saying that he's with Tiara. He feels like this is the best way for him to win. But I got a feeling this is going to blow up in his face once they find out the truth about him, his relationship being fake. I mean, I don't see it ending well, but that's just my opinion. Then we get to Darnell and Jada. And Darnell, he said, you know what? It ain't going to take me all day to figure out what I want to do. We know Darnell really loves Jada, so he was willing to do whatever it takes to, to make her happy. So he went out, got him a suit all dressed up, tells Jada, look, we going on a date. So now it goes to show you that Darnell really does care and he is willing to put in the work this time around. He is not about to do some of the things that he used to do back in the day. He has changed and he's willing to prove it. Now we get to Gemma and Maisha, and now it is time for Gemma to take this pregnancy test to see if she's actually pregnant. But to be honest, we already know the truth. We already know Gemma's going to be pregnant and she's not going to be able to escape this. Now, Gemma, she does find out that she is pregnant. She's trying to figure out a way on how she's going to tell Jake. Maisha does mention that, look, Jake seems like he's going to be the person that's going to step up to the plate and take care of his child, his responsibilities or whatever. And Gemma does ask Maisha, has she ever dealt with something like this before? And Maisha was like, hell nah, I know how not to get pregnant. I mean, she had me cracking up. Maisha definitely had me cracking up in this episode. Gemma, she's going to have to figure out how she's going to tell Jake the news or whatever, but it is what it is. I want to see how her pops is going to react to this as well. Then we get back to Treg and Fatima, and Treg, once again, he is pressing this. Fatima is telling him, I know what you're doing. You're just doing things and saying things to get people comfortable. Treg is like, look, we can go somewhere and talk off the record. I want you to get to know the real me. So Treg wants to go on a date. He is trying to hook up with Fatima. It's quite obvious he has a type. And this is what Rashad was talking about. Look, if, Fatima is who you like, if that's who you want to be with or whatever, then you need to go ahead and just tell the truth about, what you're doing. Stop lying, because at the end of the day, we know this is going to get out. Rashad really felt like Treg can win, even though, he's not with Tiara. What do you guys think? Do y'all think Rashad has a point? We know in episode 5, Fatima is going to tell him, look, are you going to continue to lie? What's going on? This will be an issue, and it's going to, end up blowing up in Treg's face down the line, in my opinion, especially if he's going to continue to lie about the whole play relationship that he has with Tiara. And also, how is Duda going to feel about that if and when he finds out what Treg is out there doing? Now, Darnell and Jada had a great date, and overall, a solid episode. I hope positivity continues to go with them as far as their whole relationship this season. You guys let me know, do y'all believe it's going to be cool with them? Darnell was like, look, I love this girl. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to keep her this time around. And hopefully that continues to happen throughout the season. Now, Tiff decides to FaceTime Emmett early in the morning. She wants to see EJ before he goes to daycare. Emmett has to play it off. He has to step away from Keisha. He doesn't want Tiff seeing Keisha, and he's very short. And Tiff, she can read his body language. She can read and tell, look, something's not right with him. But Emmett is able to, to get her off the phone. Keisha, at the same time, she tells Emmett, look, why didn't you tell her I was here? We know Emmett ain't about to do that. He said that's not necessary. So Tiff calls Keisha, and Keisha didn't even answer. So that means to me that Keisha doesn't think Tiff should be knowing about what's going on as well. This is going to blow up. I cannot wait to see the conclusion of this, but you can tell that Tiff and Emmett both did not want to tell Tiffany anything, and they both were probably feeling the exact same way. Then we get to the end of the episode. We started the episode out with Gemma, and we're going to end it with Gemma, and she had, a major plot in episode 4. Now, she's going to end up telling Jake the truth. She's going to tell him, look, I'm pregnant. The question is, how is Jake going to take this? This is going to be tough on him. We know from the official trailer, this will be tough on Jake. I believe Kevin is going to be there for him to try to help him get through this hard time. On top of that, we know in the next episode, Gemma is telling Jake it's her body, and she's going to make the decision on whether she wants to keep the baby or not. So it's about to get crazy in episode 5. Based off that trailer, we know Q is coming back, aka the Boogeyman, and we already know he's going to turn up in this next episode, and he's going to cause all types of different issues for whoever gets in his way. And also, it seems like that strap may be getting pulled out on Emmett as well. I told you guys I think it's Bakari, but we're going to find out if that is him in next week's episode. But you guys let me know, man, what do you think about episode 4? Leave your theories, predictions, leave it all down below. Thank you guys once again for all the love, all the support. I will be dropping the what to expect video for episode 5 in the next few days, so be on the lookout for that. But let me get up on out of here, man. It's your boy Mark Dark. I'm out. Peace.